And I was watching her and that's when I said, oh, yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Unity Sun Lakes.
Good morning.
This morning, if you have not witnessed Point of Light, you're in for a real treat, Point of Light and the Yayas have been in the same circles for many years now. We've done many concerts together, and we've been in this recording studio together. We recorded a song called I Am a Ray of Hope, where Baby Lynn did some rap even on it. And they have also performed on the Agape stage. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Baby Lynn, Vicky, Heather, Point of Light.
And our little one.
And our who's for.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Ooh, yeah. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. Ooh, yeah. Hot air balloon that can go to space. With the air like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Because I'm happy. Because I'm happy.
you today? Real good. Beautiful morning. Temperature, oh my God. Exactly.
All right. Let's get this day started.
So Wednesday, we
Yes. Don't make me get that cowbell out again. Who do we have that's here for the first time today? Anybody? Mariah, would you stand and introduce yourself?
What would you like to say? Good morning. My name is Mariah Salzman. I'm actually a licensed Unity teacher. Worked for Unity Mesa for many years, and I will be speaking here in 2 weeks. So I came by to just say hello and get to kind of get a feel of the flow of what you all, how you all do your Sunday mornings. So I'm happy to be here.
Anybody else here for the first time? No, I don't know. Have you guys been here before? I'm very excited you're here. So we have a welcome statement that we say together to welcome newcomers. Together, we love you, we bless you, and we welcome you. All right, let's start this morning with a prayer by Reverend Tony Corrigan.
Good morning. Good morning. I think we're already in that high prayer consciousness with that lovely music, but let's join together in prayer. Let's breathe in this beautiful October morning. The light, the fresh air, and feel the joy and the gratitude as we come together to celebrate that divine presence. We know that we are here, each of us, for a special purpose. We may not know what it is right now. It may be a word, it may be a meditation. I'm sure it's music. We are here by divine appointment, and we open our minds and hearts to the flow of that living, loving spirit of truth. We bless every person who's participating in this service. We know that that word of God, that word of the divine, the love, the life, the joy, the peace, are flowing into and through each person. So we are open and receptive to exactly the perfect thing for us this morning. And we say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is.
So it is. And this morning we have our vision statement and mission statement to say together. This is something new since I've been here. I didn't know what it was. So I finally asked at our board meeting, and Julia said, well, it's on our website. So I really wanted to bring that vision and mission statement to us all. So if we could say this together. Unity of Sun Lakes is a spiritual center of love and light, teaching and supporting one another in transforming our lives by living the truths taught by Jesus Christ and other master teachers. And our vision. A world of oneness where all people are free to express their divine potential. Let's take a deep breath on that. Yes. And now let's move in to our special reading this morning by a very special lady, Lois Value.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, recently I saw Melinda Gates being interviewed by David Letterman on TV. And she was there to talk about her book, The Moment Uplift, How Empowering Women Can Change the World. Well, as she spoke about it, her book covers her relationship with her husband, Bill, and the Gates Foundation, which is the largest foundation in the world, with a net worth of over $50 billion. Well, they truly are partners in this, and since its inception 20 years ago, they have divested themselves of $50 billion around the world helping people in poverty and disease. When they first started, they focused on health, nutrition, and education. But since then, it's been expanded to include clean drinking water, safe sanitation, family planning, genital cutting, HIV, women farmers, small loans for women, newborn and maternal health, unpaid work, child marriage, and contraception. One of their early goals was the eradication of polio on our planet. And they know now that there are 30 cases left on the planet. They're in sections of Afghanistan and Pakistan where there is so much violence that healthcare workers cannot get in there to assist them. But that's quite remarkable, don't you think?
Yes.
So I'd like to just take a moment to share an excerpt from Melinda's book. These are Melinda's words, and it will help you get a philosophy of the Foundation's work. She and her husband really share in this. I've been saying from the beginning of this book that equality can empower women, and empowered women will change the world. But in the end, I have to confess that for me, equality is a milestone, not a summit. The supreme goal for humanity is not equality, but connection. People can be isolated and still be equal, not feeling the bonds that tie them together. Equality without connection misses the whole point. When people are connected, they feel woven into each other. You are part of me, and I am part of you. I can't be happy if you're sad. I can't win if you lose. If either of us suffers, we suffer together. This blurs the borders between human beings, and what flows through the porous borders is love. Love is what makes us one. Isn't that what we say at Unity? It ends the urge to push out the other. That's the goal. The goal is not for everyone to be equal. The goal is for everyone to be connected. The goal is for everyone to belong. The goal is for everyone to be loved. Love is what lifts us up. When we come together, we rise. And in the world we're building together, everyone rises. No one is exploited because they're poor or excluded because they're weak. There is no stigma and no shame and no mark of inferiority because you're sick or because you're old or because you're not the right race or because you're the wrong religion or because you're a girl or a woman. There is no wrong race or religion or gender. We have shed our false boundaries. We can love without limits. We see ourselves in others. We see ourselves as others. That is the moment of lift. If I ever see myself as separate or superior, if I try to lift myself up by pulling others down, if I believe we're on a journey I have completed, doing personal work I have mastered, attempting tasks I've accomplished, if I have any feeling that I'm above them instead of trying to rise with them, then I've isolated myself from them, and I have cut myself off from that moment of lift. Well, the Gates reached out to people around the world who are billionaires who are looking to do something with their money. The foundation, the Gates Foundation, has learned a lot about the best way and the most effective way to use their money. So they asked these billionaires if they would be interested in learning from the foundation, hoping that maybe 20 people would respond. So right now they have 156 billionaire families gathering together to learn how to effectively share their wealth for the benefit of our planet. So this work continues to expand, and that inspires me.
That's worth a pause. Today the daily word is generosity. Let's have Diane Cook come up and give us the daily word.
It's okay. It's okay.
She asked her as well as.
I apologize.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, speak in for it.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Today is October 20th.
Talking to mine.
Diane,
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
moved.
Okay, yes, don't move it.
Okay. Today is October 20th, and the theme is generosity. Divine love through me multiplies all that I give and receive. A classic unity hymn declares, love is something, if you give it away, you end up having more. While it is true that freely sharing my time, talent, and treasure attracts good into my life, I am inspired to give for the shared joy of giving. Recognizing my oneness with all people and God, I know every thought, word, helping hand, or financial gift I offer blesses me as much as it blesses the one who receives it. Because I know that both giving and receiving are essential to the flow of abundance, I accept with gratitude and love the gifts and blessings that come to me through the loving generosity of others. I count each day as another opportunity for me to give in return. 1 Timothy 6:18 says, they are to do good, to be rich in good works, generous and ready to share.
And now it's time for our meditation, and Francine will provide some meditation music.
In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough peace and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For spirit, one spirit, is in this very room. In this very room, there's quite enough love for one like me. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for one like me. And there's quite enough peace and quite enough power to chase away any blues. For spirit, one spirit, is in this very room. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all of us. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all of us. And there's quite enough peace and quite enough power to walk away any gloom. For spirit, one spirit, is in this very room.
Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. Close your eyes if you haven't already. Let's settle in inside, where we are all one in spirit. I want you to imagine yourself sitting in your favorite nature spot, feeling the sun above you, feeling the wind on your face, feeling absolutely supported by Mother Earth. Feeling grounded, safe. And you look out into the distance and you see a beautiful pond, calm pond. Pure glass. Yes, feel the abundance, the birds chirping, the beauty of the flowers and the green all around us. You pick up a rock and you look at this rock and you bring to mind any stories that no longer serve you. You think to yourself, who am I stories come up that no longer serve you. You're going to put that intention into the rock, to throw that rock into the pond. And with every ripple, it gets rid of those old stories that don't serve any longer. So you muster up your intention, and you throw that rock into the pond. And then you watch the ripples. And then you come inside your body and let those ripples run from the top of your head down, down, and out your feet. You're no longer that person that carries those stories. We can change our story anytime we want. We're not the same person we were this morning. And we're going to pick up another rock. And this time we're going to ask, who am I? And listen for pure possibilities. Magical substance of the universe comes to you. And you think of incredible things that you haven't experienced yet coming into being. And you put those intentions into the rock. And this time you're going to throw them into the pond and watch those ripples as they ripple out new possibilities for you. And let those ripples come from above your head, clothing you, your spirit, with new possibilities of light, love, magical substance. And in the silence, sit with these possibilities in gratitude. Think a little bigger. Think of something wild. Put a big smile on your face. And say, thank you, thank you, God. Thank you, universe. I have faith in God. I have faith in spirit. I have faith in the invisible. I am one with God. Take a deep breath and come back to the room. And let's have another song from our dear Point of Light.
supposed to play on.
Oh, okay. Who are you?
All right.
I can do this. Sorry, girls, I don't know where. It's okay. I wasn't sure where I was. Oh, there we go.
This month, we're exploring the idea of turning points that lead to different tipping points, combined with applying our fundamental unity principles with the key word, applying. So a tipping point is the moment at which there is enough critical mass for a major change to occur. And a turning point is the moment of decision, the moment that we individually or collectively decide to make a shift, to head in a different direction, to view things in another way, and that decision results in a radically different outcome. Or said another way, it results in a different tipping point. So this month, I've been talking from the book inspired by Pam Gout in her latest book, E-Cubed, which speaks to the power of our basic fundamental new thought ideas and beliefs. So today we pick up where we left off last week, where we are continuing to do the work, where we are experiencing turning points which create tipping points in our life, so that we can become who we came here to be and do what we came here to do. So before we continue the work, I have a great turning point story. And for anyone who's over 92 years old, I apologize, I don't mean to offend. There was a 92-year-old man who went to the doctor to get a physical. He didn't look good. He was thin and he was pale. His vital signs were not good. So the doctor gave the gentleman some sound, solid medical advice. Well, a few months later, the doctor ran into the man walking down the street. He was a changed man. He had gained weight. He had color in his skin. He looked strong and he looked healthy. And to top it all off, he had a gorgeous woman on his arm. The doctor stopped to marvel at this man. He says, "I can't believe it. You look terrific. What happened to you?" And the man said, "What do you mean, what happened to me? I followed your advice. I did what you told me to do. You said, get a hot mama and be cheerful." The doctor said, "You old fool. I didn't say get a hot mama and be cheerful. I said you have a heart murmur. Be careful." So this man was headed toward a turning point that may have tipped him over the edge, literally to the other side. But instead, because he had a different point of view and misheard the doctor's instructions, he created his own view and it worked for him. Doesn't that speak volumes to the power of our beliefs and the realities that we experience and create? So today we're actually going to experiment with that exact thing. But first we have to see where we have been and what happened this past week. So this month, for those of you who haven't been here, we've been working with turning point views. Does anybody remember one of them? Of the 5, Barbara.
Oh, I was into that amazingly awesome.
That's coming.
Okay, forget it.
Anyone else remember the turning point views? Our new thought principles. Tony.
Well, I probably won't have this phrased exactly
That's okay.
correctly, but returning from the idea that I am a helpless victim to I am a triumphant, magnificent being.
Amen.
All things.
Amen. All right, for review, thank you, Tony. For review, let's go through our turning point views. Let's say them together. God is an energy of love and creation that flows through all, sustains all, surrounds all, is all, which includes me. Turning point view number 2. The universe actually has my back and is conspiring for my good. Let's take a pause. Turning point view number 3. I create my world with my thoughts, beliefs, and energetic frequencies. Once I surrender to the universal flow of life, life with a capital L, it will take over and handle the details. I am inherently worthy simply because of who I am. So now to our experiments. I love this idea from the author Amit Kalantri, who said, theories might inspire you, but experiments expand you. So we're going to review the first experiment that we did last week. And the first one was to awaken before your feet hit the ground and say this statement. Something amazing and awesomely happens to me today. How many played? Awesome. How'd it go?
Great.
You know, we were to write down our thoughts before we experimented with this on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then at the end, we were to write down how we were feeling after we were waking up every morning with this statement, starting your day, and then looking, what is it? I know something amazing is going to happen to me today. What is it? And then at the end of the day, you could look and go, wow, something really did happen to me that was amazing. And then you'll find things that maybe you didn't think were amazing before. Now you're actually seeing them as, that is so amazing. And so the second part of this was, that's amazing. Thank you, universe. No matter what happened. So how many had an experience with this? Or do either one of you want to share what it was? Yeah?
Oh, there's a bar behind me?
Yes.
I had a situation this past week. My ex-husband passed away, and he was the father of my children, and they were going to South Carolina to observe his goodness and his love and carry him through as much as they could. However, I have one daughter that had some difficulties with this person and the new wife, and I was worried. And I'm so good at worrying that I really needed this gift that you gave us last week. And that's what I kept using, and everything went beautifully. And I say, thank you, universe. It's amazing.
Well, I found this really great, and there was a great positive thing that happened. That I have neighbors 2 doors down. She's my travel agent. Anyway, we never were super friends or anything, but I called her about something. We were having dinner outside. I said, come on outside. And we're outside, eating on the patio. And they came out in their pajamas. And they stood and waved to us. So, of course I said, that's amazing. Thank you, universe. But now on Wednesday, I'm getting a test, which I had pushed up for something serious, surgery that's probably going to be happening, and I'm terrified. So I keep trying to say to myself to change my thinking about Wednesday of this is the test they're going to do. That's amazing. Thank you, universe. That's amazing. Trying to say that it's going to be amazing. Not like I really is scared to death.
Yeah. Universe has your back. Universe has your back.
You gotta watch your spending thing.
Ernie, what'd you say?
You gotta watch your sticking, thinking.
That's amazing. She's always giving me a hard time.
Thank you for sharing. That's cute. Okay. The second experiment. We were supposed to prove how powerful your thoughts are. And we were to check off 8 things. We were to look on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We were to look for 8 things. A belly laugh. Who had a belly laugh? I always have a belly laugh. That was easy for me. A toy from your childhood. Anyone? I didn't have a toy from my childhood. Your favorite high school song? I did. The number 222. That's easy. Who had that? No? I see 222 all the time.
What?
It's on the clock, the digital clock, or on my mileage counter. A beach ball. Oh my gosh, you guys. How many people really intently did this exercise? Okay. A senior citizen in a fashionable hat. Diane and I were volunteering at the country club right next door here yesterday, letting people know that Unity of Sun Lakes is here. And we saw a few. We were looking intently, and of course they walked in. A smile from a baby.
Who's a baby?
I did. My nephew. And a billboard with a message just for you. Anyone? Yes? I had a billboard. Mariah came over and she does Best Release, which is a Dr. Sue Morter healing modality. She came over, and one of the words I told her, I'm fine, everything's great. I just want to look for anything that's hidden from my view. And so what came up for me was enjoyment. And so I started to think, yeah, I've been working my tail off. I have not allowed myself enjoyment lately. And so she cleared that, and I saw it. So Saturday morning I came here, and I decided to take the I-10 so that I could see a billboard. The first billboard I came to was people dancing and having fun. And I was invited to go to a dance on Saturday night. So I knew that billboard was for me. It was for me. It was fun. Okay, so let's see. Now we're going to move on to our third experiment, which will work on supporting turning viewpoint number 5. We are worthy. So we have a lot of absolutes in our lives. And I'm not talking about absolute with a capital A, like Fillmore defines in the Revealing Word. This is Fillmore's description of divine mind. Unlimited principle, the Almighty One, the all-pervading Spirit, the infinite, the eternal, the supreme being, the one ultimate creative mind, the source of all things, that which is unconditioned, unlimited, unrestricted, and free from all limitations. The self-existent God. Okay, I'm not talking about that one. That is who you are, but we're not talking about that absolute. We're talking about absolute with a little a. Not talking about the one that you drink either. But rather, absolute with a lowercase a. And these are things that we believe about ourselves without questioning. Like, I'm not photogenic. I'm not photogenic, don't take my picture. I don't know how to public speak. I can't sing. I don't know how to connect with people. I'm not social. I don't do well at parties. Those little A's that we make up about ourselves, they're not true. So this week, our experiment is to work on busting up those little stories. So the first experiment, and then we have a worksheet for this too. A little lab report from Pam's book. Take one down and pass it around. And give me one. Thank you. So nothing is absolute. Only my thinking makes it so. So is it possible that the labels I've placed on myself and all the negative beliefs I've had about who I am are nothing but a mirage that I've erroneously cemented in from years of believing that they were true? So we're going to date this today, and we're going to choose one negative belief that we have about ourselves, that we've had for years. Just one. And we're going to spend 3 days being open to seeing the evidence that that is not true.
Wow. Keep in mind.
And then we're going to start with how do I feel right now, just in general, and then how do I feel in 3 days about it, and write your observations down. This shifts your view of who you are. Whatever you focus on expands. So if you're focusing on the opposite of what story you've had about yourself all these years, now you're going to see the opposite. You're going to see that those absolutes are not true. In the quantum world, in the field of infinite possibilities, no reality is truer than any other. There's no such thing as an absolute, a lowercase a. But we all have our stories, and because we tell them and we tell them and we tell them and we tell them some more, they become our reality. Albert Villoldo, the Cuban-born psychologist and shaman, said, when we drop our dreary story, we are provided for in every way. And Tony, can I share your story about your weekend, what happened with people telling their story? Huh? I can tell it if you want. Or do you want to? Okay, so Tony went to, many of you went to Dr. Sue Morter's weekend workshop retreat. And Dr. Sue had everybody line up in circles, and the person that was across from them, they had to tell their story. Our dreary story, or our story, just our story. And then they had to shift, and they had to tell a new person their story, but they had to do it in opera. And then they had to shift again, and they had to tell a story as though they were dogs. Isn't that fun? And the beauty of it is, Tony said, I will never, ever be hooked by my dreary story ever again like I was at the beginning of that exercise. Isn't that beautiful? That's beautiful. I love that. I was tempted to have you guys greet each other this morning as dogs. But I decided not to. So, Pam Gout shared a story in E-Cubed about a woman choosing not to believe the absolute that she was being told. But she continued to listen to her inner voice, which was telling her that there was a different possibility than what everyone saw. So at 25 years old, Michelle Longo O'Donnell was an RN, and she was working at one of the first pediatric intensive care units in the nation. She was married to a Vietnam vet. She had a 2-year-old daughter and was pregnant with her second child. Because she had her withered left kidney removed when she was younger, doctors thought her right kidney was overloaded, and they decided to induce birth by giving her a drug to begin the labor. There was a mistake in the calculation, and the baby was delivered at 7 months. She weighed a mere 2.5 pounds. The doctors whisked away her tiny purple baby who made no movement and no sound. And just to put this into perspective, this was in the 70s. So we did not have all the equipment in the medical community with all the advancements that we have now. The baby's name was Lara, Lara. She was unable to take air in or keep her lungs inflated. So during the first night, she had 5 cardiac arrests. Even with 100% oxygen being pumped into her tiny little lungs, she was not getting enough to supply her kidneys and her brain. The senior resident came into the mother's room the next morning and asked for her permission to stop treatment. And she said, Lara simply cannot survive. As a nurse, Michelle already knew that she was not getting enough oxygen to her brain, so she probably would have mental retardation. But something inside of her kept telling her that everything was going to be okay, and she refused to give permission to stop treatment. She knew. She had a deep knowing inside of her. However, she did struggle with voices in her head. She could buy into the absolute belief that everyone had, including her doctors, or listen to the deep conviction inside of her, the quantum possibility that everything was going to be all right. Her husband abandoned her after 2 days. And for 2 long years after, Lara was finally released from the ICU. Michelle O'Donnell pieced together a life, never once owning the probability of Lara's mental retardation or letting go of the probability that healing was still possible. She never let go. When Lara was nearly 2 years old, Michelle had her propped on her hip and was getting ready to put a cracker into her mouth. Like she'd done many times before, Lara, who had not shown awareness of any kind, had basically lived like a vegetable. The doctors told Michelle she would be a vegetable. She smiled at her mother. She reached up to grab the cracker. She put it in her mouth. After that, she made rapid improvement and grew up to become a lawyer and eventually worked for the Attorney General of Texas. Her mother said, "You have to keep your mind off of letting any reality become your identity." I'm going to repeat that. You have to keep your mind off of letting any reality become your identity. She knew. So in the experiment, you're going to take a reality that you have believed is absolute fact about you. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And you'll actively look for the exact opposite. Do you have one? Okay. Our final experiment, experiment number 4, sets out to prove turning point view number 1. There really is an invisible energy force or field of infinite possibilities of love and creation that flows through all, surrounds all, and is always wanting to experience itself through us. The scripture tells us at Revelations 3:20, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with that person and they with me. So for our fourth experiment, we're going to listen to them knocking, knowing it is there for 3 days, on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Deeply trust that we will catch a glimpse of the wonder and the glory of the field of infinite possibilities in a tangible, can't-be-missed way. In order to get a glimpse of this, it only takes a slight shift in our energetic vibration. Look at the difference a slight shift can make in these two sentences. Let's eat, comma, Grandma. But you take the comma away, it says, let's eat, Grandma! It's a small shift. One little comma. But it makes all the difference in the world. You're going to make a slight shift in your energetic vibration, so you are just a little bit closer to reality, with a capital R. Simply by setting your conscious intention to do so. We reach out to infinity. And since we cannot encompass infinity, we shall always be expanding and always enlarging our capacity to know and to experience. So this experiment is about consciously expanding and enlarging our capacity to know and to experience the awe and wonder of the universe. So there you have it. That's your marching directions for this coming week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you switch experiments and go to the next one. You'll look for evidence, you'll record your evidence, you'll write down how you feel today, and then how you feel after the 3 days. Look for indisputable evidence of the awesome nature of the universe and the presence of divine creative love. In this way, we will absolutely create turning points in our lives, which cannot help but lead to tipping points, tipping us into a life of greater love, greater joy, greater connection. How about greater wealth and harmony? I'd say that's worth continuing to do the work. Oh dear. And now, let's do I've had a request to switch up the Lord's Prayer, so we're going to say the prayer of protection in a little bit different way today. So together, the light of God surrounds me. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love of God. The power of God protects me. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Amen. And now another song from Point of Light.
You're the only one who say I'm gonna live a better way. So live it today. You wake up and you say, man, how am I gonna change when nothing's ever right? Well, you've got to believe it. Be the change you seek before you ever see the light. Open up to all the beauty in your life. 'Cause it's time to switch around this paradigm. You can decide, you can choose. Don't let anything change your truth. Hold your head high, raise to the top. Stand your ground and never give up the fight. Just bring it on, let the rain fall. Let it wash all your cares away. You're the only one who say I'm gonna live a better way. So live it Don't forget to hold the power in your hands. To choose what happens when you feel like you can't win. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can decide. You get to choose. You can decide. You get to choose. You can decide. You get to choose. You can decide. You get to decide. You can choose. Don't let anything change you. Hold your head high. You're ready to die. Stand your ground and never give up the fight. Just bring it on. Let the rain fall. Let it wash all your cares away. You're the only one who say I'm gonna live a better way. So you can decide, you can choose. Don't let anything change your truth. Hold your head high, you're ready to die. Stand your ground and never give up the fight. Just bring it on, let the rain fall. Let it wash all your cares away. You're the only one who say I'm gonna live a better way. So live it today.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And now it's time for our offering. Let's gather our offerings, hold them to your heart, and let's affirm together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. I am so blessed. Thank you, God.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And we take these gifts and we give thanks by saying together, we give thanks for these many blessings of today and know they are but a symbol of the inexhaustible substance of the universe. We give thanks that 10 times as much is now on its way to us and quickly manifests in perfect ways. Thank you, God. All right, we are running very late today. I apologize for that. Few announcements. Of course, we have our Reiki Share group. They meet at 9:30 on Tuesday mornings in room A2 in the Cottonwood Country Club. Our prayer partner today is Helen Daly, and she will meet you in the back. And Unity of Women's Retreat. It's titled To Be Who I Came Here to Be. And that retreat is in 2 weeks. The reason Mariah will be speaking here is because I will be singing at the retreat in Prescott. There are still openings, and my understanding is the numbers are low. So it's going to be a very intimate retreat. So I highly recommend. Intimate retreats are the deepest, in my opinion. So I highly recommend you look into it. If you're interested, you can talk to me or you can go to the website. And now Kenny has an announcement. A brief announcement.
Shirley will tell you I don't do anything briefly. So, I have a daily word for you. It's a little different than what Diane told you this morning. On September 8th, I pointed out that we had a sign-up sheet for hospitality and also for greeters. And every Sunday, we've set that book out. Nobody signed up. And until this morning, and Kay did, and Kay happens to be the chairperson of hospitality on our board. And so you're going to get coffee this morning that I made. And now Shirley knows I don't measure anything. So you get what you get. Now, I would encourage everyone to sign up and do their part. Now, in the past, Julia's been doing it. And Julia happens to be the assistant to the minister. And taking care of the setup and taking down isn't part of her contract. I know that because I wrote the contract. So I encourage everyone to sign up. One other thing, we need someone to back up Mark on the visual here. Now, I'll probably be talking to Jonathan to see what's going on. But anyway, anyone that would like to learn how to run the audio-visual would be greatly appreciated. So for that, why, I highly encourage everyone to do your part. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Francine speaking. So two things. One, choir. Woo! Choir is starting rehearsal October 30th. I wanted to go into November, but then we would only have 3 weeks, and we know that 3 weeks isn't probably quite enough to perfect our product. So we're singing in choir, and we invite everybody. You don't have to have a great voice. You just have to be willing to learn some things, and we're going to learn some things about vocal production this year. We're going to learn how to sing better and also how to perform better. 2, if you happen to notice a whole bunch of clothes back there, ladies, here's what we're going to do, I hope, after church. We have 14s, petite, medium, petite larges, and extra larges back there. There's a lot. I received these from the universe, and they're not mine, okay? So they're now yours. What I would like to see is that everybody take home enough articles, and then I don't have any more. Thank you. I'll meet you there after.
Thank you. I want to be real quick, but we did the donation last Sunday for Matthew's Crossing, and we succeeded tremendously. There are still some slippers left. Ellen is here today, and she's going to be standing over there in case you're interested. But the donations to date are $125.
Anybody else have any announcements? Did I miss anything? I don't think
Yes,
so.
yes,
Zona
yes,
Dials,
yes.
Zona Dials.
Yes.
Yes, would you like to speak?
I want to encourage all of you to come to the humming class this Thursday, the first one of the season, and we'll be learning to listen to the new language that our body is trying to talk to us in, and some of us aren't listening. So we're going to encourage each other to improve that. So please come.
Thank you. All right, let's all stand and sing our peace song. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind, life is in my body, and life is in all my affairs. I think it, I feel it, I know it, and I